Everyone, it's Nick with Us vs. Herd. Sorry, I had a little alert here. Sorry for the awkward pause, but Nick with Us vs. Herd here. Thanks so much for watching this channel. Thanks so much for watching this video. If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all that you do. Appreciate everyone that's subscribed to this channel already. If you've already subscribed, please hit that little bell button below. It'll actually notify you when we go live. We have a new video, or I go live 3:30 every day, even on the weekends. You know, we're getting it. We're out here getting it. But let's get into things today. S&Ps was kind of flat today. Dow was up, and NASDAQ was down. And we've been, if you haven't noticed, we've actually been having a lot of these kind of mixed days where some things are up, some things are down. S&Ps are up, Dow's up, or NASDAQ is down. So definitely some volatility in the marketplace. You know, we've had some ripping events here, as you can see the S&Ps, and you can see Alibaba and MU. Tesla was pretty crazy today, and also most notably our friend AMD right here. What's going on, Jeff? If you're here, let me know you're here. Leave a comment below in the live chat here. Definitely want to meet everybody that tunes into these live shows. It was a pretty busy day for me. I posted a lot of, I posted all my trades in our options trading group. If you're not yet a member, hit the link below, bring you to our options trading group. You can get a lot of good information in there. I post my trades. You can ask questions. We talk. It's just a really nice way to communicate with everybody. If you're already in the options trading group, thanks for joining. But one of the main things that I wanted to cover today was defending your position, because what I've been noticing as more subscribers and more people join the group is that I've noticed a trend where they start taking losing positions, and they just bag hold and kind of sulk and say, "Oh man, I got a losing position today. It's not going to come around." They get down about it. And yes, being negative on a position is never a good thing, but you could be the best trader in the world. It doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to have a losing position. Any trade that I put on today, I'm actually down on today. You know, and that's just the thing. And you know, let's take the S&Ps for instance. If you take the S&Ps for instance today, if you were day trading this, at some point I guarantee you, you were down on a position today. If you're trading the S&Ps, you could see, you know, your short position was working out. Let's say you were short, your short position was working out, and then all of a sudden, a little CNBC news alert comes out saying, "Hey, there's talks with the U.S.-China trade. There looks to be improvement there." Skyrockets. You know, you're losing position. Maybe let's say you didn't short this spike. Let's say you said, "Okay, well I'm gonna get long here," and then you get long, and then it goes against you again. So it's very easy, especially in market. James says it's so choppy, it's disgusting. Yeah, you can definitely see the choppiness. And all this was news related. This had nothing to do with anything else. This was this U.S.-China trade talks. And as you can see, if you're trading these bars, these are the 15-minute bars. I actually prefer the 15-minute bars, mainly because the 1 minute and the 5 minute, I find that I tend to react more versus taking the full 15 minutes, letting the bars close, taking my time, and making good decisions. The 1 minute and the 15-minute bars, I tend to overreact a little bit. So I kind of found that I like to use a 15-minute chart here. But at some point today, people were trading this. They were on a losing position. You know, today I actually opened. I closed a trade on Alibaba, and then I opened a new one. And then Goldman Sachs, you can see I'm down 21 bucks here. And as you can see, there was some volatility on Goldman Sachs here. And you know, I went down. You know, I was actually up a couple, 10 bucks, 15 bucks. And the reason why I went down is because, look at the end of the day. Nothing here happened. No volatility. I don't know what's going on after hours here, but you know, I put a tight strangle on, so I'm not too concerned. So it all matters what your plan is. And you know, for instance, I'll give you an example. CMG, I actually had I have a position on, and I don't know. I mean, some of you guys follow closely. Some people don't. Some people are new here. So I'll kind of go back in time for you. So I actually bought the 5-10 calls. Let's see when I bought these here. Right now I'm down on this position, 67 bucks. I actually had a pretty good day for realized gains, but as you can see that like a position will go against you. So I bought these on November 5th. It is now September 12th. So I've been holding these since last week, I guess. I bought these last week. So I bought these September 5th last week for $1. They're now worth 32 cents because theta, and even though I'm getting closer to my target, I got the 5-10 calls getting closer to my target, it's just not moving fast enough. But if you remember what I did with this trade was I put a vertical put spread on and I bought a call. So I actually took the put spread off already. I already made $60. I think it was like $60, $65 on that put spread. So I made $60, $65 on that put spread, and I captured the move. And this, I'm actually down on the overall position now. I'm down like $7, $3 on the actual original position. Yeah, it shows down 67.50. But that's kind of the ways, when at the end of the day, the people that you're trading against, whether it's robots, institutions, they want to empty your account to zero. So instead of taking a loss, figure out how you're going to offset it. Like if a position, if I bought calls here, like on GS, if I bought calls up here and it tanked and it went against me, the question is, am I just going to take that loss? I mean, no way. I'm going to figure out, okay, there's going to be some movement here, whether it's on this stock, whether I'm going to be trading GS, whether it's this stock or another stock. You have to figure out what you're going to do to get back to zero. So no one wants to take a loss. Like in here, in investing and trading, money is the most sacred, is your sacred tool here. You need to protect your account. You need to protect your gains. You need to protect your profits. Like today, for instance, I had a Microsoft position on. It actually ripped up pretty good yesterday. I actually captured 100% gains, and then I put another position on. And I was actually not super choppy today, so I took that off. And if you can see here, I'm down on that position, Microsoft, $14.50, down $14. So I've been minimizing my losses by taking trades off early. Like I'm not sure if this is going to work out, and I wasn't down a whole lot, so that's why I took the trade offs. But at the same time, I'm defending my account. I'm defending my position. I took a small loss, so this doesn't turn into a bigger loss. This could have easily, if this stayed the same tomorrow and Friday, and since I was buying premium in here, because Microsoft Premium is so cheap, I don't like to sell it. Because I was buying premium, I already made gains from it yesterday, so it wasn't a big deal. But I'll take the $14 loser. So some people get really stuck up on saying, well, I don't want to take even a $10 loss or $14 loss. But then the next day they're rolling, well, now it's a $50 loss. Now it's an $80 loss. Now it's a $200 loss. Like, when will it stop? Eventually, you have to protect your account. And there's definitely ways to, when you're in a losing position, either, let's say you have a spread on or whatever, you can roll that to another date depending if there's a roll, or you could put a new position on the same stock to make those gains back, or you can offset it by making a trade on a completely different stock. You don't necessarily have to make a trade on the same stock. For people, I know MU was, some people bought calls on MU because it's dropped a lot. This has dropped $10. It's dropped $10 in a week, as you can see down here. I mean, this is just terrible if you bought calls in here, because you're just getting obliterated. And those calls are now zero. I mean, if you're selling premium here, you're doing pretty good. If you're selling calls, if you're selling puts, not so good. But buying calls, I mean, you're just getting messed up. And today, they didn't think it could get any worse, and it went from close at 43 yesterday, hit a low of 40 before bouncing up a little bit. I did put a position on here. It's a really tight strangle. I think I don't think I have it on this account. I have it on my Tastyworks account. I think I'm up a couple bucks on, or let's see here. No, I'm down $2. So I'm down $2 in the position. I just put the position on earlier this afternoon. So I'll definitely try to protect my account on that. Crypto Slice says today bought AMD vertical call buy 290.50, sell 333. It's already up. Got in just right. So you got a debit spread on AMD. I guess the question is, when are you going to be taking your profits? I mean, this could run, I don't know, but that's the thing about, let me actually pull up AMD. This could run, but as you can see, like on was this Monday? Let's go back to the week. So Monday we ran hard 6%, and then yesterday we went nowhere. So we're just like eating premium alive, and then today we went up again. So I guess the question is, tomorrow we're going to have another day like this where it just flattens out. Then your debit spread's going to be in trouble. You're going to probably give back those gains, depending on when your expiration is, and theta and all that. But IV is pretty high right now. I don't necessarily like trading AMD right now because I feel for a $30 stock, I know it's been making some major moves. That's why I got out, took my gains, and ran today. So I actually had a $31 call and a $29 put for Friday, and it was actually a losing position by like a couple dollars at close yesterday, just because luckily I put that position on yesterday during low volatility, and then it really ran up today. So I took my profits. I made about $60 on it, but my spread, my strangle, I think I put on for 80 cents or something like that. So I made near 100% profit on that strangle. It just was, you got to be careful, because as soon as this dies down, like if you look at around noon here, if it went up and stayed flat the rest of the day, it would have just killed my position. So that's why I try to get out when it spikes out. Same with Alibaba. Today. Alibaba I actually had a losing position on, and I took the gift and got out, protected my gain. I actually was down $100 at open on this strangle. I was down $100. It came back up. I was profitable by like $40, and you can say, hey, that wasn't a great trade. You didn't make that much money. But I was down 100, and it came back till I was green $40. So I actually made $140 back. So I'm going to take that money, even if you think this is going to go, greed strikes, and you say, well, I've held on this long, I might as well get paid for it. But then if you look, that really wouldn't have paid off if I held. Probably would have backfired a little bit. Actually, a lot of it. Probably would have gave back some money. I wouldn't be down 100. I'd probably only be down like 20, but I wouldn't have made any money. So always when you're trading, have an entry and exit strategy. Defend your account, defend your profits, and don't blow your account up to losses. Hamed says, my MU calls were up to 150 yesterday since I averaged down, but today always take profits is my first lesson in the market. Yeah, so especially like new traders that I noticed that are trading AMD think that like profits are coming like super easy. If you're trading stuff like AMD's chart right now, if you're trading AMD's chart, like if you started trading like within the last month, it's been fairly easy. All you had to do is hold and close your eyes. But normally trading's not that easy. I mean, if you look in the past year, volatility was low and like things weren't really happening. Like it took a long time to make money. It took a long time, and things are popping off now because people are bullish. But normally things don't pop off like that when trading. It's kind of going back. AMD reminds me of BTC run in November and December. James, the one thing I would say though about AMD is they actually have a product that people buy, and the other thing is AMD is kind of they're saying can outpace Nvidia. And if you remember Nvidia for let's say 2 years ago, Nvidia went from $57 to now $268, and you can't really see that. Here we go. AMD went from $57 to $268, and that's because there was growth in their industry and their business was making money. And the same thing for AMD is they're saying AMD chips and graphics and stuff can outpace Nvidia and are actually better. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just trading what I think there. Thoughts on Apple today? So yeah, a lot of people were trading Apple and buying calls, or were asking to buy calls on Apple on this event. And typically, I've traded Apple events before and been disappointed. And typically, like it's a non-event. And if you look at the chart today, it was a rough chart. It went, depending on where you put a position on. If you put a position on yesterday, you should be okay, but that's a tough one because it ripped up yesterday, and then today basically is down a couple bucks. But at one point I think it was down almost $4. This is just people were just getting slaughtered at open. If you had calls and there was no real bounce back. I mean, we had something here, but there was no follow through. It never actually broke back to where it opened at. I mean, that's just that's a tough one. Like I don't like to trade those events because they're speculative, unless, like I was telling my buddy, unless like Apple is curing cancer or has something monumental on there. Apple comes out with a new iPhone every year, comes out with a new watch every year, comes out with the same stuff every year. Yes, people buy it. Their margins are growing, but it's not an event unless they're like I said, curing cancer or having FDA approval for some diabetes blood tester or anything like that. Like it's a non-event to me, so I didn't trade it, and I'm glad that I didn't trade it because in here it looks like death. It doesn't look like, yeah. I mean, if you're really just trading the bars, you could have made money, but I mean, this would be very stressful, a very stressful day if you were holding calls or even puts, because it also didn't break below like 219, 220 here. I mean, it didn't really break down once if you had a position on here, if you thought it was going to go up, it really didn't, For me, it would have been a tough trade. I don't know what you guys think. Snap. Yeah, Snap. Let's see here. Snap. Snap is a tough one. Now, today I would say was an interesting event, and I would say it was probably a buy event. And the reason for that is because an analyst said a Wall Street analyst said they're downgrading the stock because they're tired of waiting around. And what that means is, if you look at Snap's 1 year here, let's get this. If you look at Snap's 1 year right here, what the analyst really means is he's trapped somewhere up in the 20s or even the teens, and he's sick and tired of it going, so he probably took a short position, and he's trying to get his money back right now, and he downgraded the stock to $5. For me, that would be a buy signal, because I mean, now we're in single digits, and I actually have stock. I'm actually long at 16. I actually bought down in here because it dropped from 21 to 22, and I thought that I was getting a good deal, but apparently that was not the case. I haven't added to my position. I haven't traded it. I haven't traded options on it. I've just been kind of letting it run because I don't think Snap's going to go to zero, but I mean, they do burn a lot of cash. But the one thing I would say is IV is kind of low, so you could definitely. I think it actually recovered a lot today based on where it was. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it didn't do. I mean, it's down 6%, but I think at one point it was down like 10%. So I definitely think that you got to be careful trading these stocks. And I don't know. It seems like sometimes when you get news related events like that, it kind of triggers more people to downgrade and have some more bad press come out about the CEO or whatever the case is. But it's gone down from I think like $11 to $9 since last week. Matthias says he's a long-term call, 2018 for Snap, but it's scary. Good to know you're still here with me. Matthias, I'm still holding stock. Crypto, I know you put up that Iron Condor on Apple. How did you do? What are you up right now? Because I know that it was a super tight Iron Condor, but you just got to be. I guess you got to be careful about catalysts, and also earnings are coming up. I think November 1st. So. I know that you have a November Iron Condor on Apple, and just so you know, to kind of protect your gains, when you get closer to earning, IV is going to expand on these options, and since you're selling premium, depending on if premium was high when you did it or low when you did it, you could be losing money due to premium expanding, IV expanding. So, if anyone has any other questions, definitely leave them in the chat below. Mondelon's thoughts on V. Let's check it out. Visa. Oh, you know what? I was actually going to put a position on Kroger today, and I totally forgot. Anyways, yeah. So Visa, it had a nice little drop here. Looks like it's recovering. Typically, this is not a chart that I would buy right up here. I wouldn't short it either just because it could run. To me, it's a high risk trade. I don't typically like putting positions on at 52-week highs. Personally, for me, you can do what you want, but that's my opinion. The other thing is kind of like a similar chart. Is the reason why I left that 510 call on, I didn't take it off to kind of protect my account. I still have like $50 on that. It's worth 50 cents. Is because we're starting to break out here, and I think it could come back up to here in the next day or so. Look, if it runs in the next day or so, I'll probably take off that Chipotle trade tomorrow. But if this thing breaks out and hits up 510, I'll be making some sweet cash, and it'll only cost me $1 or $100. Hamed has a call for January on Kroger. Yeah, the one thing that I didn't like about Kroger, their stock is running pretty nice here, and they have earnings coming up here. IV is not particularly that high. I mean, it's okay. But the one thing I would say about Kroger, I didn't like when I was trading it. The bid and the ask are kind of wide. So it was definitely if you're selling strangles or selling credit spreads or anything like that, or buying strangles or anything, I was having a hard time getting in and getting out for a decent price, especially when it had a big move. I mean, especially when I had a big move was definitely because premium would get skewed and the bid and ask would get wider, so it was hard for me to get out of Kroger. That's why I didn't particularly like trading it. But with earnings, I was actually looking forward to it, and I totally forgot because I kind of did a lot of other trades today. Today is a win for AT&T. What happened to AT&T? I'm not aware of that. But yeah, it looks like one thing I would over Visa, I'd actually trade a stock over this. I would trade a chart like this over that Visa chart, mainly because here we're at like a gap fill. We can definitely gap from 33 to 34, and it looks like there's room to go up. I technically never really liked trading Visa because AT&T is because if you look at like the 5-year chart, I mean, that's the same price it was almost 5 years ago. That's one of the reasons why I don't like trade AT&T. But I mean, if it could run up to 40, I mean that could be a good one. But I don't necessarily trade AT&T mainly for this reason. I mean, it's the same price it was 5 years ago. So it's not really a growth stock in my book. I prefer to trade growth stocks as tech stocks and other things like that. Let's go back to the 1 year. Gold. Oliver did a gold bear put spread today. Big pop in gold, but macro from China US should pull it back. Yeah, I mean, I've been trading Alibaba and stuff and getting in on that China trade war. I used to be kind of hesitant to do it, but now I've learned how to capitalize on it, I guess. And I guess you have to be careful about like rumors, with the Chinese and the U.S. trade war. Will they come to agreement? I mean, they could come to agreement, the stock market explodes, or they could easily not come to agreement. Stock market hates it, and something terrible happens. I like to be, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to hedge this. I've been trading a lot of strangles on Alibaba. I've been hedging my positions, mainly because anything could happen. Like today, it looked like it was going to be going down, and then it just ripped right up here. Luckily, I was able to exit my losing position. But I've been making some really good trades on Alibaba, just doing some strangles in there, mainly because of all the U.S. Chinese news. Trick is watching rates when they devalue, the dollar goes up and gold gets hammered. Yeah, I don't really follow the currencies. Like I said before in some of the other videos, I don't really like trading like political events, like elections and stuff like that, because rarely do I ever see those things clearly. And I don't personally. I mean, a lot of people I know that are successful in Forex and other things like that, I'm not very good at, I don't really want to follow the British pound and all the news and all that kind of stuff. Matthias, thanks. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of overview on, defending your account. Don't just take the loss, but defend it. Defend your position. Do something. Defend your account. Don't let them have your money. Don't let them take your gains. If you guys have any more questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I'm going to be signing off here. Thanks for all that joined here today. Join the stream. Appreciate you guys day in, day out. You show up. Appreciate you. Have a great night.